What's going on, guys? Welcome to your third $1,400 stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Tuesday, March 30th. So we have a lot to go over today, but first, there's a big thing that I want to address, and that is how as many as 30 million Americans that are on Social Security could essentially be screwed out of their $1,400 stimulus check. This is not good. So here's what we know. I'm also going to get into a little bit of the stock market and how a lot of stocks are crashing. There's some issues going on there, and I want to touch on the eviction moratorium that has been extended as well. We're also going to dive into a little bit of what we could potentially see coming up. So that's what I want to cover in today's video. But first, let's touch on what is currently happening within the IRS, the Social Security Administration, and why so many Social Security beneficiaries are going to be delayed in getting their stimulus check. So here's what we know. First off, last week we got word that the IRS was simply waiting to send out payments to Social Security recipients simply because they're waiting on the SSA to send them paperwork so that they know where to send their payments. Well, here's what we know. On Thursday, that exact same thing happened. The SSA sent over the required paperwork to the IRS so the IRS could then issue payments. Well, what we do know as of right now, and from many people within this community, is that they have still not got an update from the IRS when they check their Get My Payment portal. What they are saying is that some say yes. On Wednesday, March 31st, which is tomorrow, they will be able to get, or at the least it says, they have a pending payment date of tomorrow. That is great. But here's where things get really messy, and this is where a lot of people are going to get screwed. According to the Social Security Administration, according to their website, they have this exact statement. It says, and I quote, "The IRS decided to pay economic impact payments first only to people who filed a 2020 or 2019 tax return and to people who used the IRS's non-filer tool to receive a previous economic impact payment. Some Social Security beneficiaries may have received a recent economic impact payment if they filed a tax return with the IRS." So let me break that down really quick. And the IRS has not confirmed that they have sent out any stimulus checks from last week, which is very odd because normally the IRS is fairly quick to respond to, yes, we sent out 15 million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever they decided to send out. They're normally fairly quick to respond to that. However, they have not in this case. But according to the statement from the SSA, it is simply stating that the IRS is mainly going to send out stimulus checks or the economic impact payments to those that have actually filed a tax return. Whether they went through the non-filer tool, which isn't even open now, it was open previously, it's not anymore, or they actually filed in their for their 2019 or 2020 tax return. Those are the ones that the IRS is prioritizing at this point. Well, what we do know is right now, many people will not be getting their stimulus check right now or tomorrow simply because maybe they didn't file. And this is how screwed up the system is. The IRS is prioritizing people that filed over people that probably need the money. If you don't file your taxes, chances are you have a very low income. You're probably making maybe $7,000 to $10,000 per year, which is very low. Well, what we know right now is that many people in the comments have already stated that no, they haven't seen any additional pending information. There's no date that they will get their check this week. There are some reports that say if you don't get your stimulus check this week, then chances are it's going to come next week through direct deposit. We also know that we have not heard anything from the IRS regarding the Direct Express cards and payments going out to them. The Direct Express spokesperson said that they have still not received an update from the IRS regarding when the payments will even be issued. So right now, it's just a mess regarding the IRS. Some say, oh, it's because of former President Donald Trump and his holdovers. Others say no, the IRS is just in such disarray at this point that it's highly unlikely that the child tax credits will get resolved by July. We won't have that portal open by June. We also know some lawmakers want to push back the tax filing deadline instead of May 17th. which is what it currently is. They already extended it back 1 month. They actually want to push it back another month into June. And some say, no, that is not possible. We cannot do that. But what I can tell you is the IRS is going to deal with a lot of delays in tax refunds. They're still dealing with a little bit of the 2019 tax refunds as well. And obviously they have 2020 coming in right now. So what we know at this point is unless Congress actually steps in again, this might be the only way for some to get their $1,400 payments in a timely manner. But the troubling part is right now, lawmakers are not working on this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. They don't really care about the $1,400 payments because they already passed that. They did their job. Now it's up to the Treasury and the IRS to do their job and send out the payments. Well, while millions of Americans are waiting on their $1,400 stimulus checks, lawmakers are already discussing the fourth stimulus check. Now, we don't know the exact amount. We know progressives want to push for $2,000 per month and then $1,000 per month for a year after the pandemic has been ended. But we know others, they'd be perfectly fine with another $1,200 stimulus check. Some want even more. But what I can tell you is, and I hear this in the comments all the time, is why are we talking about a fourth stimulus check when millions are still waiting on the $1,400 stimulus check? Well, the reason is pretty simple. Lawmakers did their job. So they're done with that. They're moving on to the next thing. The issue is not all government agencies are aligned with, okay, well, yeah, we passed stimulus check. Let's get it out in a hurry. No, some might not even care. I don't know what side the IRS is on, but as of right now, it seems like, yes, the first couple batches of stimulus checks went out fairly quickly, and that is great. That provided almost 100 million people with a stimulus check, or actually over 100 million people with a stimulus check. And right now, they're still waiting on the last roughly 30 million people. So we will see what happens there. But what we do know is things are just moving extremely slow. Now, one other thing that lawmakers are currently working on is, and at this point, is they don't want to amend the previous packages. They want to start something new. Because what we are hearing is that right now lawmakers are saying that we cannot keep fixing what we've already passed. Let's let that pass, let the money go out. Well, here's the issue. And this is one of the things that I've been saying for a while. Is we know states are extremely slow at sending out the $50 billion in rental assistance. And this is the money that's going out right now is going out to those that truly need it. However, there's a large group of people that sit on the outskirts of the current eligibility that they should be included into this fund. However, they're not. And many landlords are not accepting the rental assistance because some states are stipulating that they take a decrease in the amount that they are owed. So what I can tell you right now is lawmakers are not their goal is not to go and change the bill. The bill has been finalized, it's passed, signed into law, it's good to go. Well, here's the issue. Right now, lawmakers are were just urging President Biden to do something about the eviction moratorium. Do something about the stimulus checks being delayed. Do something about the possibility that the child tax credit will be delayed as well. Well, yesterday the CDC stepped up and they decided they will extend the eviction moratorium from March 31st, which is tomorrow, until June 30th. So we have a few more months, which is good. A lot of people, millions of Americans, are going to be excited about this news simply because they were on the verge of getting evicted. So this is great news, but this is not the end. We will have to see what happens in June if the CDC extends this eviction moratorium once again. Does something else occur before then? Chances are, according to many experts, they believe that we were within weeks of not having to extend the eviction moratorium because some are saying that some states are getting this money out, the rental assistance out, faster than others. But some states are going to be about 2 to 3 months behind. So there are currently some states that aren't going to have this eviction moratorium money or this rental assistance money out in March. Obviously, it's one more day. Not going to happen in April. Not going to happen in May. Not going to happen until probably June. So there's a chance some states will have to enact some type of law to prevent any evictions within that state, because chances are the CDC is going to come out and say that no, we cannot do another eviction moratorium because right now it's just not fair to many landlords that are currently behind in almost a year of rent. So we will see what happens there. But this is also leading into what is possibly what some are calling the stock market crash. Now, I just want to touch on this because I think a lot of people are looking at this and looking at the stock market like, oh man, I can't invest today. The market's down. Well, here's what I can tell you. Is this a stock market crash? No. This is not a crash. We've been seeing a pullback for some time. And these pullbacks normally last about 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks is about normal. So what I can tell you right now is this pullback it's common. We see these all the time. However, it's a little bit more magnified at this point because a lot of people are sitting at home. We got a lot more retail or average investors like you and I that are putting money into the stock market that we're looking at these things like, oh, it's dropping today, I'll just sell. I'll sell and I'll take the $30 loss, right? I remember checking one of my accounts the other day and thinking, oh, it's down in a few $1,000. No big deal. Normally, when I first started trading, was it 15 years ago? I would have saw, oh, it's dropped, 1-2%. I'm gonna sell. Here's what I can tell you right now. Okay, this is just an overreaction. This isn't a crash. This is an overreaction to possible inflation. It's an overreaction to possible inflation. Yesterday we had news of a fund that was kind of upside down. So I'm not getting into that in this video, but there's a lot of things happening. We had the Ever Given, the boat that was stuck in the Suez Canal. That was an issue. Okay, so all these things do wrap up into the stock market. What I want to say is right now that yes, inflation is going to happen. It is inevitable. We will see inflation. That's normal. Okay, after the year that we've had, after the amount of stimulus that has gone out to the American people, yes, inflation is going to happen, right? But here's what you need to understand. There are many stocks right now that are fairly cheap. Okay, they're fairly cheap. And when I say cheap, I'm not saying that these are, bad stocks. I'm just saying that these have been sold off a lot recently. And there's no reason why, in my opinion, a stock right now should be less than what it was before, or when a stock is cheaper now than right when the pandemic started. Okay, there should be almost no reason for that. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Okay, here's what you need to do. Because a lot of people are selling, you need to buy the dips. Okay, the stocks are going to go up, but when they start dropping and you see red days, buy in a little bit. Let's say you have $300, and I always use the $300 method simply because a lot of people can understand that or relate to it and understand it. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're going to buy a stock right now. Okay, we'll use NEO. NEO is I believe it's a $35 stock as of right now. Okay. NEO is, in my opinion, NEO is a $50 to $60 stock. Okay, easy at this point. Well, it's $35 today. Here's what I tell you. If you have $300, here's what I would do with NEO. Once NEO dropped below 45, I would have used my first 100 and I would have bought some NEO shares. Okay? Well, then as NEO started to fall again and got to 37.50, I would have taken my next 100, the second 100, and put in another $100 into NEO. And then once NEO dropped below 35, which chances are it would never drop below 35, but in this economy, this market, it has. So as soon as NEO drops below 35, that's my next price point. I put in my last 100 on 35, as to buy NEO. So then I'd be averaged in roughly right about 37.50. Which is a good place to be on a stock like that I believe is easily, it can easily be a 50. It's probably in the next, I'd say 4 to 5 years. This is probably anywhere from $80 to $100 stock. Okay, reasonably $80 to $100 in the next 5 years. Okay, so right now what I'm telling you is it is a good time to invest, but don't invest money you can't afford to lose. Don't invest money that you need tomorrow to go and pay your bills. Don't invest that money. Don't invest a $1,400 stimulus check if you need it right now. Don't invest it. Hold on to it. Invest money that you can afford to let sit for a while. Okay? We're not all swing traders. We're not all day traders. Some people are just long-term investors. I personally have a long-term investment account, well, actually multiple accounts. I have a few, I have one day trading account, which I usually use with Robinhood, and I also have a few different accounts that I do swing trades on. Short term, daily, like if I buy today, I might sell, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, maybe sometime next week. So that's just what I like to do. But what I can tell you is if you follow these 4 rules, you should do fairly well in this market. Just understand it is still a volatile market. It's going up and down. So just be aware of that. All right. Don't sell. Don't sell. Continue to buy the dips. Now, let's get into some COVID-related news because I think this is extremely important. And a lot of people wonder, what should they do at this point? Do they need to get the vaccine? Well, here's what we know. The United States reported 70,265 new COVID cases yesterday and 685 deaths as well. This is just from yesterday alone. This also shows a 16% increase week over week in cases, which isn't great, right? This is actually fairly bad news. The CDC director says that she is actually worried and somewhat scared. And I quote, she says, "I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom. We have so much to look forward to, so much promise and potential of where we are, and so much reason for hope. But right now, I'm scared." That's exactly what she said. And this is also one of the reasons why President Biden is pushing for 200 million shots in people's arms by April 29th. That is his 100th day in office. He wants 200 million vaccines by his 100 days. Now, at the same time, some virologists and infectious disease experts are now saying that the current vaccine could be, keyword, ineffective very soon if the virus continues to mutate. They say that everyone should still get the current vaccine. It is still helpful, but a booster or a modifier could be needed sooner rather than later. So, I just want you to keep all this in mind as you go about your day. It is extremely important to understand that where we currently stand as a country. We are still dealing with this pandemic. We are not out of the woods, and it will most likely be a little while longer until we get out. So just keep this in mind. Hopefully, if you have any questions on any of this stuff, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Hopefully you are staying safe, you're social distancing, wear a mask if you can. Just keep yourself and your family safe. That's all we can really do. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.